Yo, our young man, we got Too Lazy to Try. Makes great videos. He will be linked in the description below. Let's get into this video. Andrew Schulz has completely went MAGA. Uh-oh. I wonder what that means. Let's see.
But I will say that this was a breaking point for me in the way that the administration responded to it. Like, I didn't think what's happening right now with ICE could happen in America. I genuinely did not think that was possible. I thought our institution, I thought the Constitution would hold up.
If you got cons, you got cons.
Right. Yeah.
You feel like you got cons.
I mean, yeah.
I could call it a takeover, but that's why I have to come back to Trump has agency. Trump has agency. He's the one who's decided to embrace this neoconservative agenda to do all of this insane nonsense with Venezuela.
And hold him accountable for it.
And
don't chalk it up to the deep state. He's the guy in charge,
exactly.
and then pin his ass.
All right, so it looks like Andrew Schulz has completely jumped off the Trump train after platforming him and voting for him. Now Schulz spends a lot of time on his podcast trying to distance himself from Trump and MAGA, which he gets a ton of shit for from everyone. You know, one thing both sides seem to agree on is Andrew Schulz is a grifter. Whenever clips of him criticizing Trump go viral, everyone's like, dude, this is what you voted for. And people on the left call him a sellout for platforming Trump, and people on the right call him a sellout for backtracking on Trump. Like this.
My thing is, like, I mean, just don't. You could, I mean, again, like, I don't think he's like some people that are just chilling out for Trump, but like, so yeah, there's complete, like, bro, if you look on Instagram or TikTok, YouTube, whatever these platforms are, they're straight shills of Trump, but like, I think if someone that was a supporter starts criticizing, I think you shouldn't be like, this is what, I mean, unless it's something they ran off of and something they didn't say, this is what you voted for is not going to help you. It's going to make more division. Just be like, okay, like this, that should be a good sign that, hey, okay, that I'm not a shill. But again, if you're a grifter, then you just pick the trendy topic and jump on it. But if you're not, then, you know, it kind of shows you that you're not a shill like some people.
MAGA influencer guy commented on a clip of Schulz criticizing ICE and called Schulz a grifter and said he despises him more than radical leftists. And then a left-wing influencer commented on the same clip and said, this dumbass voted for Trump, supported him, and did it to attract his base and get rich, F Schulz. So it's good to see hating on Schulz is bipartisan. You know, at least he helped people find something they can agree on. It's also funny seeing him try to distance himself as much as possible from Trump. Like on Brilliant Idiots, you know, his podcast with Charlemagne, it always turns into a struggle session, and Charlemagne tries to help him backtrack, which I think Charlemagne secretly loves this and loves what Schulz is going through because he's a big Kamala Harris fan. You know, he interviewed and voted for her, and Schulz interviewed and voted for Trump. And during a recent episode,
Bro, don't even trip, bro, about this shit.
Charlemagne kept questioning Schulz about having Trump on, and you could tell he really wanted Schulz to admit he fucked up and got conned by Trump.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
A lot of people will say, hey, Andrew, you know, you supported Trump. You screamed.
I didn't support this at all. I've never supported his immigration policies.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You never did support his immigration policy. Let me ask you a question. Did you not believe Trump would do any of the things that he said he was going to do because you didn't know or because you believed in the guardrails of America?
I believe in the guardrails of America.
Yeah, I get it. You know, like y'all had Trump on, whatever. You know, you voted for him, whatever. It's okay to say when somebody's wrong that you voted for. I used to hear people that grew up in New York City tell me how good of a con artist he was. I'm like, nobody's that good. This man is good, okay? I don't know why he's good as a con artist, but he's good as a con artist.
Right.
If you got cons, you got cons.
Right. Yeah.
You feel like you got cons.
I mean, yeah. Well, it depends. Like, when he came on the pod and he's like, yeah, we're going to go after the criminals. Now they're not going after the criminals. Like, yeah, I definitely do. I feel maybe naive to believe that. And I know that I'm sure there's other platforms where he's like, we're going to get them all out of here. So maybe he's saying whatever he's saying.
I think more important than the vote, though, is the fact that people look at your platform and how large your platform is.
Yeah.
And they feel like you amplified it. But
they're not wrong. Listen,
let me listen to a comedian podcast to get my political opinions. Bro, you can't just be like, okay, it gets to a point where if you're listening to a rap, like I'm talking about him, the Breakfast Club to get your political opinions, and maybe you shouldn't be in politics.
don't think any criticism is wrong. That's why I said in the beginning, like, I'm not doing this to, like, win anybody over. I just think it's, like, the right thing to speak out against, especially people in my situation. Because, like, I think there's a lot of people, that like sometimes they feel embarrassed or they feel shame or they don't want to get the public criticism, so they just kind of retreat to the base. And I think that's a lot of times what happens on the right, it happens on the left.
Yeah.
Because there's safety in the base, there's security in the base, there's support in the base, there's positivity in the base, right? Like, as long as you just toe the company line, everybody's going to say you're a great guy. And that's just not who I am as a person, right? Like, I try to be a nuanced thinker. If he fucks up, I'm on it.
And I don't know why people don't take this as a positive thing, because it shows you, well, regardless of the fact if he may liked him at a time or if he, voted for him, he's not a shill and he doesn't stick up for, or not stick up, but like dick ride him on this, regardless of the fact if it's bad or not. So like, I think this is a good thing, but again, he could be a grifter still. So that's not two things can be true at once here.
Thinker.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
No.
And Schulz started to backtrack pretty soon after Trump took office, but now he's totally jumped ship. So, of course, MAGA thinks he got worried his association with Trump could hurt his career. That's why he's going so hard against him now. He's trying to pander to the Hollywood liberal crowd. Like, he realized the tide was turning on Trump, so he wanted to get ahead of it. And recently, PBD covered Schulz criticizing Trump, and you could tell this is kind of what he wanted to say about it. He definitely thinks Schulz goes whatever way the wind blows, but you could tell he didn't really want to offend him, so he tried to say it the most polite way possible.
Schulz has been, and I think this is a calculated decision, going a little bit further left because he wants to have a good relationship with his mayor. He's a Hollywood guy now, more than a political guy.
I think Schulz is, I don't know how to say this. I'm going to say it. I think Schulz... How likely is it that Schulz studies the market of comedy very closely?
Yes.
How closely do you think he follows it?
As much as you possibly can.
Andrew Schulz is a guy that's super capable. He started his career he was on Fox News a lot back in, I think he was on the 5, I don't know what show. He was regularly on one of these Fox shows. And then he recreated himself, probably because he wanted to be a mainstream comedian, and it kind of took off. And Schulz is not just a comedian. Schulz is very smart.
So I think eventually we'll start to see a war between the podcasters that backtracked on Trump and MAGA. I mean, they already go after Tim Dillon like every week because every episode he goes off on Trump's administration. He also said he thinks Trump has had sex with underage girls, which is wild because last year around this time, he was helping the Trump administration do PR with the Epstein Files fiasco. He met with J.D. Vance. And he also said he doesn't think Trump likes young girls, and he kept saying he just thinks Trump is scared the deep state will try to kill him if he releases the files. But now he's walked that back, and he's like, I think Trump's guilty, and I think he's probably had sex with underage girls. So they're really losing the Rogan sphere with this. Yeah. I think Tony Hinchcliffe and Rogan are the only ones left to do.
He made a video. I have it in my in this playlist I got that I try to pull it out. I try to add, if I find short videos or, if I'm scrolling or like whatever, when I'm about to go to sleep, I have a playlist that I could just, this is a cool video I should react to. Click. So he has one with Tim Dillon. I'm a big fan of Tim. I don't really like, I listen to him sometimes. I don't listen to his podcast like that, but like, bro, I've seen his clips. His clips are funny as hell. So we'll see about that. We're gonna watch that one with Tim probably within the next coming 4 days.
Defend Trump and maybe Theo Vaughn, but Schulz and Tim Dillon, it looks like, are completely done. They're both starting to think Trump is heavily implicated in the files.
So how powerful are the people that Trump is protecting? Or does Epstein or the powers that be have incriminating evidence on him prior the 2005? Evidence of him doing I don't even want to mention horrible fucking things. Where he's willing to go down with the ship instead of just exposing it. Because if he did stop being friends with him and he was sure that they didn't have anything, knowing Trump, wouldn't he just sell everyone else down the river?
That's what I'm saying.
See, I like Bill Clinton.
Oh,
like Bill.
What do you like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me.
He's guilty.
So I think soon Trump might need to make a post attacking the Rogan sphere, to try to get these guys back in line. Because, the left is having a field day with this. Some of the videos about Schulz are like, Trump's supporter admits he got played. And Andrew Schulz says the left was right about Trump. And during the last Flagrant episode, they had on Sagar from Breaking Points, who also voted for Trump and is now really disappointed about how things are going. So he has the same...
I mean, I didn't, because we're not going to get into it, but, like, if he was promising these X things and is not delivering on X things, I think someone that supported you is going to be and does have the right and probably will be mad at you. And people don't understand it. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but, like, to me, I think I might be wrong here, but to me, I think you sound a little brain dead if you're like, I mean, not, I guess, like, kind of making fun or not really making fun or, like, just hating on someone. Like, yeah, I'm not a shill. I have my own personal opinions. At X time, I thought he would do the thing I want to do. I thought he would hold his promises up and whatever. And they liked, I guess, his last time he ran, or when he won 2017 or 2016 to win 2020 or whatever. And they're like, yeah, I thought it was going to be like that, everything, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it's the complete opposite of what he ran on. Why would you be mad, or why would you be like, yeah, you're an idiot that they're not shilling for him? Be like, okay, that shows you that you actually have an opinion, and it shows you that you actually aren't a glazer, and you actually have your opinion and you think for yourself. That's why, like, to me, I'm like, bro, these people just think for themselves.
Frustration is Schulz, and that's probably why Schulz really likes having him on, so he can explain why Trump let them down. Also, he feels betrayed by people he interviewed as well, who are now part of Trump's administration, like Tulsi Gabbard. He's like in shock about how quickly she abandoned her position on issues she claimed to have cared about.
How do you feel about the current administration?
Well, how do you think I feel about the current administration? Is it coming across yet?
Well, tell us how you feel.
Yeah, how do you feel? Like, you are conservative like this.
Because we've gotten no shit for criticizing.
Yeah, you had a very viral clip. I think what I'm the most disgusted by was the rhetorical use of a lot of principles which I really cared about. So, like, let's say, for example, anti-war and Iran, right? And it's especially galling to.
And today is Saturday, February 28th. Yeah.
Have sat across the table from some of the people who are now currently in power, who are pushing or excusing this type of behavior. And not only that, who are either silent or actively working behind the scenes, not stopping the obvious, like, look, I could call it a takeover, but that's why I have to come back to Trump has agency. Trump has agency. Mm-hmm. He's the one who's decided to embrace this neoconservative agenda to do all of this insane nonsense with Venezuela.
And hold him accountable for it.
And
don't chalk it up to the deep state. He's the guy in charge.
Exactly.
And then pin his ass.
He needs to be held. But it's also about the people around him, because
of course,
I now know for a fact they're not. If you take your role seriously, then you actively work for that type of principle that you ran on and that you have literally sat across the table from me. And I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about a lot of different people here. Like I said, I'm in a weird position because now I know some of these people. Like I knew, like
this is what
Tulsi.
I'm so curious about.
You know what I'm saying? Like with Tulsi, like we sat across the desk. I thought it was real. Like, I really thought, and listen, I've read a lot of books about politicians who lie to your face, but it's another thing.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, bro, sweet talk.
To experience it. And to, how many?
I think 3.
3, 4, right. I spent hours with this guy.
What do you think RFK's implications are?
Well, it's not about implications. I'm like, in the way that he's operating within HHS, and like they throw out this like bullshit for the masses on Twitter. But like, if you're
Tim Dillon have completely jumped ship, which makes things more difficult for Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan.
I think people are just jumping off of a base of, I guess, a MAGA thing. But like, I mean, dude, I could give a fuck less.
Who are still trying to be friendly with the administration. Like, I think Trump personally calls Rogan sometimes, so Rogan might get an earful.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're doing a card on the White House soon. You know what I'm saying?
Soon, because...
Which, regardless of the fact, I doubt I'll watch it, but I'll see the clips, maybe.
His comedy buddies are really making Trump look bad. But let me know what you guys think about it all. And if
I don't care that much. Let's watch this video. Grifters calling out grifters for grifting. Yep. Did no one hear the Dow is up 50,000? Yeah, boys. Whatever the fuck that means, too. Whatever the fuck that means, by the way. Whatever that means. Rats flee a sinking ship. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, like, not trying, you can't even flee up with it. Like, it is what it is. You can't even flee up. I would flee a ship that is I wouldn't die on a hill that's stupid, right? If you had to die on a hill like that, I would just commit suicide. IRL, I'm just saying as a quote. Like, if you had to die on this hill right here, or be this MAGA guy, I would just, and in that example, not actually do it, but I would just blank, just. This guy has been telling us for 8 years what he's going to do, and these idiots are shocked he's doing what he said he was going to do, more or less. I don't know what that one means. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what, I guess what's about the politics. From what I've seen, I don't know if he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. I thought Akash was dressed up. Yeah, I haven't seen him. I don't know what's up with him. He definitely fell off the planet. Maybe he's getting his life together, huh? Maybe he's getting his life together. You know you fucked up when two sides that hate each other are agreeing on hating you. Exactly. As a Republican who has never MAGA, I'm baffled every time I hear one of them say they didn't see this coming. He laid it out what he was going to do. He was always been this person, always. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care that much. If you think it's just Hollywood liberals who hate Trump, you're going to have a rude awakening coming. What? It's definitely not what he said. Yeah, I know. We know it's school teachers. We can see about the protests. School teachers, doctors getting fired. We know who it is. Like, we know people who are deranged in those, like, type of ways. But, like, come on, bro. He doesn't mean that. He's talking for his base and how he's going to get successful. That's obviously true, bro. Like, you can just go on social media and look it up. Durr. Imagine caring about how many of these losers have. I don't really care. Alright, man. Let me know what you think about this one. This was a good video. I don't care that much, bro. Really don't. Okay. He's having his own opinion. Wow. Thank you, dude.